We're joined here today with our friend Maxim, and he has shaved the night before, which is a very important thing to note when you are working on hand-laid hair pieces. We will be using adhesive all over the face, so if they have shaved just prior to sitting in the chair, it's going to be very irritating to the skin. So if possible, have your client shave the night before or the morning of, at least a few hours in between so the skin has a little bit of time to calm down before you put adhesive onto it. So what we're going to be doing is, first we want to make sure that we protect the outfit. Now, when you're working on someone who has wardrobe, you should check in with what the wardrobe is going to be. If it is something that needs to go over their head, then they should put the wardrobe on first, and then you will put a cape around them to protect the wardrobe. If it's a shirt like this that buttons up that they're meant to be wearing in the scene or in the play, whatever it may be, then they can wear some other shirt during the application process and then put this on because it doesn't go over the head. You just want to know this ahead of time. That way, when you go to put things over the head, you're not ripping off the beard that you just spent a good amount of time building up. So we're going to imagine that this is what he's wearing, and what I'm going to do to protect, if you don't have a cape available, or if you just want it to be more comfortable for the client, just take some tissue and tuck this into the neck of the shirt. This crepe hair, like I said, it will go everywhere, so you want to make sure that everything is protected. You don't want there to be any little hairs that drop down into the shirt or get all over the shirt. Think of any time you've gone and gotten a haircut and those tiny little hair trimmings get all over the place. It's kind of like that. So make it as comfortable as you can. Now that the shirt is protected, the other thing we want to do is talk about makeup in general. So if your character is going to be having any makeup on them, whether it's straight makeup, character makeup, whatever it may be, you want to do that makeup first. Now this is because you're going to draw an outline with, I prefer to use a white eyeliner pencil because it's easy to remove on the face. So draw a little outline of the perimeter where you're going to be applying the fake beard to, and then do everything else makeup-wise first. But don't go all the way down the rest of the face because that's not where you're going to be applying the makeup. So everything under here from the line down is where the beard will go. Anything from the line up is regular makeup. When you're doing regular makeup, you can get powders, you can get oils, you can get lotions, things like that that will actually break down the adhesive and get into the hair. So you want to do the straight makeup first and then fill the beard in afterwards. It's also a good thing to note that these beards are not the most comfortable to wear. They're fun and they can be fun, but especially if you're not used to having a beard on your face, it's hair and it's itchy. So lessening the amount of time that your client or actor actually has to sit in the beard is a very nice thing to do. And it's a good method to do that, doing the straight makeup first, then building the beard as the last step. Other things to note too, also lessening the time that they're in the chair. This is a quite lengthy process to do the full application of the beard, so let them know that ahead of time. Let them know that they can take a break whenever they want, if they need to use the restroom, if they need anything to drink, all that sort of stuff. Make sure you have it ready and on hand before you get started and have the conversation with them. Now the adhesive that I'm going to be using is Pros-Aide. Pros-Aide is an adhesive that we've already used in this course, but you can also use Spirit Gum. Spirit Gum is a little bit more widely available than Pros-Aide is. You can buy Pros-Aide from specific makeup manufacturers or online, but Spirit Gum you can find at theatrical stores, sometimes even prop stores will carry it. And it will work very similar. I prefer Pros-Aide just because I find it to be a bit more gentle on the skin and it moves a bit more fluidly than what Spirit Gum will. But Spirit Gum, if that is what you have or what you want to use, is an amazing option for this as well. Just make sure you have the appropriate remover for it. Again, the Telesis Super Solve that we've been using will help to remove that. 99% alcohol will remove as well. If you're going to be using Pros-Aide, you can get the traditional Pros-Aide remover for it, or you can use the Super Solve for that one too. So make sure you have the right adhesives and removers to work with one another before you go in. And then once you're done applying the beard and they're done working for the whole day and it's ready to take it off, make sure you're the one to remove that beard for them. That way they don't rip their skin or hurt themselves. And should you be needing to reuse any part of that hair later, then you are in control over what you have. So first thing we're going to do is clean the skin off where we're going to be applying the beard. Now you want to make sure that the skin is prepped and the area you're doing the beard in is free of any oils or makeup. So taking some alcohol, we're just going to do a light sweep of alcohol over everywhere that the beard is going to be applied to. Again, if you were to do the straight makeup first and you were to have makeup all over here, the adhesive is not going to adhere to makeup or to powders or anything like that. It does need to be a very clean skin surface for the adhesive to work on. Until your head back a little bit. And make sure you clean underneath as well, because the beard doesn't stop at the jawline. It goes down a bit, and to get the natural appearance, we're going to make sure to continue it down a bit. Now, Maxim has a bit of a 5 o'clock shadow, which is actually going to be very helpful for us in the application because we know where his natural beard growth pattern is. So we can use that as our little bit of a stencil to mimic and make it look the most natural as we can. I'm going to go ahead and clean the mustache too. Now we're not going to hand lay this mustache. I'm going to do the beard first with hand laying to show you how to do it, and then we're going to do the lace piece as the mustache. A lace piece I find is better to use for the mustache versus the hand laying method because it just looks more natural. It looks more natural and the mouth moves so much and you sweat a lot around the mouth. Even your nose is breathing condensation down. So it's very common that the mouth and the mustache area will pop off quite frequently throughout the day because of heat and moisture. It will affect the adhesive. Also think about too, if your actor is going to lunch, you're going to want to remove that mustache for them to make it a bit easier to eat lunch. So you can just pop that lace piece mustache off, let them eat, and then reapply it clean once they're done and ready to go back into work. So you can certainly do both methods for both, but if you're looking for a more cost-effective and easier route, I would say do hand laying to the actual beard itself and then do a lace piece mustache.